Hello and welcome to a new video, this time about a few advanced formulas that weren't in the course up until now. These are the formulas we will tackle. So first is the sort formula. With the sort formula you can sort a range or a matrix and you have multiple options. For example, sort based on an index. You can select the sort index, you can select the order, you can also sort by column and so on. And there's also the SORTBY function. With SORTBY, you can sort a matrix or parts of the matrix based on the same matrix or another matrix. So both matrices should be the same size, but yeah. So I will show that to you how this works. For example, here we will only sort two things. You can sort here these two columns after column 2 in descending order, and you have here then everything sorted. Well, there are a few loose ones at the end because I've selected the whole table. If you select only a few, then it isn't the whole column. So, and then sort by, we will sort C and D, so here the country and the sales, after the market value in descending order. And now this, you see here, for example, these companies here have different sales but are sorted based on the market value. Those two functions, sort and sort by, can be quite handy. So, and then I will touch on, we've done this in the dynamic arrays course. But with the sum function and dynamic arrays, you can do much more as you think, because you can, with dynamic arrays, as we did before, you can multiply row by row and then sum all this up and so on. Here, row by row product and then total it. But if you think of, those things could also be here in an array, could also be 1 and 0, so with the true and false values. Then you can select highly advanced SUMIFS or SUMIF functions, because here you think, oh, there's 1 and 0, because SUMIFS can't handle everything. You've used the SUMPRODUCT function in the past, but since dynamic arrays are available and common, you could use them instead of SUMPRODUCT. So here you see we want to sum the salary of people that begin with J. If you do this with an sum if S, you could also do this with the so-called wildcards, but we don't do this here. So there you could use a sum function, sum the salaries, multiplied with, if the first letter of this name array is an J, then there is a 1 or a 0, as you see here, true, false, true, false, true, false. And then you multiply those with the salary and sum this up. So if the first letter isn't a J, then there's a false. If you multiply this row by row with the salary, the total value for this multiplication would be 0. And if you multiply a true value with the salary, then only the value is there. So in the background of the formula, row by row summing of true false values and the number itself. And you could do here more than two arrays, so you can do this in extent. And you need to put this into brackets to sum this up if you have a value here, because if you don't put this into brackets, you should or need to transform it into 0 and 1 with these things we touched on before. You could also do this for two-dimensional SUMIFs, for example. So you can't do a sum if s in 2 dimensions, but you can do this if you know how to deal with dynamic arrays. That's the beautiful thing about dynamic arrays and the things you could do with them. So sorry, I would first take a glance at this. So for example here, sum the profits if the company starts with C. So profits multiplied with left from company name equals C, 65,000. I think there aren't that much. It's only the China construction, China merchant, yeah, only those two. And if you would use your sum if s instead, you could also do this. Here, select the profits, then select here the company name and then type in C asterisk and so on. But as you saw before, for example, with the two-dimensional sum if s, this isn't possible without doing complicated stuff or using sum and dynamic arrays. So then there's also the rand function. With the rand function, you get a randomized number. So it isn't true random, but computer random. So yeah, and you get a value between 0 and 1. So the use here is limited, but if you want whole numbers, then you should use the rand between. There you can say, oh, I want a whole number between this upper number and this lower number. So for example here equals rand, you get some value here. If you click here, it will automatically update, and with rand between you get, for example, a value between 1 and 10, here 6, then next is 9, then also normal 9 again, and 3 then. So, but you should pay attention, because that's the worst nightmare you could have if Excel is not responding. Because some formulas and tasks in Excel are very calculating intensive, depending on what you do in Excel, of course. But this could lead to an Excel crash, and then you get this window Excel is not responding. And from this point on, you can not do that much because you need to restart the system or Excel. And the problem is all unsafe data is lost. And therefore, you should save immediately or switch on automatic saving if you want to not face that pain here. And you should also pay attention to the things that could lead to crashes, iterative calculations, data tables, and so-called volatile functions like now, rand, indirect, lookup functions, and if-s functions with huge extensions like for whole rows or columns. But normally there are no crashes only when you handle with large data, complex calculations, and so on and so on. And you can also, if you have multiple worksheets, you can also deactivate the automatic calculation to avoid those errors. So, and sometimes not only Excel does not respond. Thank you for your attention. We have an exercise as the next course part. If you want to do this exercise, I will link it in the video description, and the next video will be then a solution for this exercise. See you.